Hey YouTube, my name is Michael. I'm a live streamer from Los Angeles. Thanks for tuning in. I play some driving simulation games and sci-fi games and try to do a big variety of different things, but I also make music. I play some FL Studio. I've messed with Ableton Live a bunch of times for a period of time. I use that primarily. Hardware synthesizers, hardware drum machines, guitars, bass, whatever. I'm down. And I think one of the most important parts about live streaming is the quality of your voice coming over the mic. So I thought I'd make a quick video. I know I'm not the only person out here with content like this, but I was hoping that I could just try and sum up really quickly how I use Streamlabs OBS to make my voice sound nice, to make sure that my voice comes through clearly over the game audio, and also so that I don't blow anybody's speakers if I have to shout during a exciting part of a game or something like that. But anyway, give me a couple minutes of your time and I'll show you just how this works. So let's get into it. I've got this example scene set up, and it's a little funny to see me like recording with all this going on in the background. I promise I'm not doing that to show off. It's just the easiest way to do things. I'm just capturing this whole computer screen so I can get everything. This is what OBS looks like. If you don't know, I would probably go through some of their basic training stuff to get to this point. But I've created a scene, put a couple sources in, my webcam and the display capture like I was talking about. And I want you to look down here in the right hand side where the mixer is. You can see desktop audio is totally quiet because I'm not playing anything. If I were, it would sound something like this. A little Harris Heller. As you can see, I've got the desktop audio set up so that it really only goes up into the yellow. We want to keep it in the yellow at the most. This is loud, it'll come through the speakers well, but you want to leave a little what they call headroom or a little space within the yellow to the red. Don't go all the way to the red. It's not worth it. Just leave a little headroom. It's fine. I want you to also notice the mic and our auxiliary as Streamlabs picks it up as. When I stop talking, notice how it completely turns off. Well, you might notice on your own setup it doesn't, right? And I'll show you why. Click on the gear tab. We're going to add some filtering. Let's click on filters. And these are going to stay persistent across any of the times you use this particular bit. So if you use this, any of your mic input across all scenes will take on this. So as you can see, I've got 3 set up here, but I'm actually going to remove them. And I think you'll see what the difference is. So now check it out. When I stop talking, first of all, I bet the quality of my voice recording has changed a lot, right? It's probably still pretty loud, and in fact it could probably be louder. I should be careful, and I don't want to speak too loudly and mess with your speakers. But notice when I stop talking, it's still there. So there's a lot of noise going on. There's a computer sitting right next to me. I'm in an air-conditioned house. I don't know. I'm breathing. I'm touching the table, maybe typing on the keyboard or what have you. So we got to make sure that that goes away. The first thing we're going to do to get rid of that is to add a filter by clicking that plus. Then we're going to grab noise suppression. Noise suppression does what it says, noise suppression. Look at that, it's gone. And all I had to do really was set up noise suppression. And I'm using the lower CPU option, which is one that works fine. It's I believe an open source software called Speaks that's available right here with Streamlabs OBS. When I stop talking, it goes away, right? Isn't that cool? Now I have a pretty good computer, so I'm going to throw up to RN noise. And as it says, it's just a higher quality version of this, but we'll keep that on. I think that's really important. Right here alone, you're already ahead of the game. You're able to reliably see your audio turning off completely, so there will be no hum. If your neighbor starts up the lawnmower, if your roommate turns on the sink, it probably won't come through. People won't hear it. I also brew some beer, and I've done brew streams where I'm literally running the sink for like 5 minutes at a time, and people on the stream said they couldn't hear it, and all they could hear was my voice. So it's really important. Now the next thing that I think is really, really important, and I'll just leave it at this is just one of those things. Please add a limiter. Now what a limiter does is when this goes up into the red, and I'm not going to do it, but if I were to shout and it goes up into the red down here, that means you're getting into this broken sound area. I don't know how to simplify it any more than that, but you will blow people's speakers. So I have some really nice clip speakers here at my desk. I'd be really peeved, really pissed off. Now, let's admit it, I'd be fucking mad if someone screamed during a stream and it blew my speakers. They're not crazy expensive, but they were expensive enough. So I'm going to put on a limiter. Just hit the plus again on the same same mic input filters. Then roll down to limiter. And the cool thing is, I think for the most part, the limiter does a pretty good job of limiting itself. So now I'll try a little bit louder. You see, if I try and speak a little louder, I can't get it into the red, no matter what. No matter, I'm not going to make an ass out of myself and scream, but I can talk really, really loud, and no matter what, it's not going in the red. And I didn't have to change anything. That threshold of -6 and the release of 60 should be fine. If you find problems with it, play with that a little bit. But honestly, they make this stuff so easy to set up because Streamlabs is awesome. Lastly, this is one that you want to tweak for your own sound and what you want. But we want to make sure that our speaking and our audio kind of has a space, like a space over the rest of the sound, your in-game sound, your music, whatever you're doing. So I like to put a compressor on. I'm not going to get into the details of how a compressor works, but just it makes your voice sound a lot cleaner and makes it stand out a little bit. And you can control some of it here. I really wouldn't mess with it. You can do some side chain, or what some people call ducking, which would mean that if you could put this compressor like on the game audio and then have it duck to your microphone. And ducking means like every time your voice starts speaking, it's the opposite, right? It'll turn down the volume so that you can speak over it. I don't recommend doing that. It's kind of like a wedding singer thing to do, or like a wedding DJ thing, like when they speak and the volume drops a little bit. It's just really weird. I don't like it. And no offense to wedding singers, you guys are awesome. My wedding was great so you can control this a little bit, but honestly, just putting it in the defaults here, I think makes a slight difference that is worth doing. That's it. That's honestly all I wanted to talk about. Now we could, in practice, here we are, right? So I can now adjust my microphone so that at the loudest levels, right? I think even at full blast, right? Yeah, barely will go in there. But I guess that's another good point that I kind of should mention, is when you're adjusting for limiter, make sure your volume is where you want it to be. But I'm going to play this back right now and check it out. But I feel pretty confident just based on looking at the levels that this is going to sound good. You can hear the music in the background. You can hear my voice really clearly, right? It sounds good. So as always, thank you for tuning in. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscription button. And if you don't mind the bell, I'd love to see you back. I do some live streaming on here, and I'm also planning on doing more tutorials just like this. So from my home to yours, I hope you're healthy, safe, well. Hope your family's doing good. It's Mother's Day weekend, so go hug your mama. And that's it. Thank you so much. Take care.